Hello, hello, good evening. Happy Friday the 13th. We have an insane and exciting match for you. It is Fuel Esports Academy versus Husson Varsity Green. The game is Overwatch. I'm Dragon, here with New. How you doing?
I'm feeling good, and I'm excited to watch some Overwatch. We got the 5 new heroes, right? The Overwatch Spotlight just came out. This game has more eyes on it than ever, like really ever before. It's the biggest change since, I'd say, the switch to Overwatch 2. So
The player counts increased.
A very large patch, yeah.
And the player count increased heavily. It's actually at its peak to like when Overwatch first came out.
We'll see how much of that is just people trying to get drops, just trying to, get those rewards and maybe just like a little bit of hype. We'll see if this, starts to feather down.
If it's consistent or if it kind of starts
I think,
to lower.
this is definitely a good start as well as, the 5 more characters promised within this year. But let's take a look at what our Fuel Academy roster is going to be bringing today. We got Santi Angel in the support line, Bugaboo, Zazvu, DPS, and then Turtle Tank. For any, keen Fuel watchers, really the only, as far as Overwatch is concerned, Bugaboo's he's going to be the only name you're going to recognize, was on the main team last semester. The rest of these, brand new to the Overwatch team, but the vibes in the room seem to be good. You see Santi and Angel having a nice laugh there. Zazvu locked in. Turtle as well, making sure to get some nice vibes going. Very, very crucial, making sure that the vibes, the tone is set for a fantastic match to come.
And that's honestly a part of it. You want a good mental, you want good vibes going, because at the end of the day, it's video games. We're having fun, especially as we go over to these standings. You can see because we are still just in the start. So Fuel Academy is leading at 1-0. Their opponent tonight just underneath them with 1-0, followed by Waynesburg 1-0, and then 0-0, then 0-0-1 for 8, 7, and 9.
Yeah, a little tidbit though, or a little, mark on that 1-0 for Fuel here. It was a forfeit win. They have actually yet to play a match together in this division. Is that right? 8. I believe that's 8 if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see how they end up doing. Right, this is their first match officially together. We did have, they have scrimmed around a couple times. We saw them versus the main team a little bit as well. So we'll see how they end up doing in this match against Husson Varsity Green, who did actually end up, I imagine, finishing off their match. I'm excited to see, I'm excited to see all these new heroes. Been watching the Spotlight tourney over, in Pro for a bit, and they've been having been a lot of value around some of these picks. Now their rule has been map 1 has to be all 5 new characters versus all 5 new characters. We will not be seeing that today, likely, unless these teams want to get a little fancy.
Well, no, 2 of the new characters are already banned. We have Dominant and Vendetta that are banned
Vendetta
already.
is actually not one of the new 5. She came out pretty much right after our last semester ended, so you have not have seen her yet. So honestly, we're casting 6 new characters, but Vendetta's been in the game, has been terrorizing ranked for quite a while now. Personally, my permaban, I absolutely despise this character.
Okay.
On both DPS and tank, just so hard to deal with, such an annoying, pestering force. But we'll see how these teams end up doing. Domina and Jetpack Cat definitely going to be the strongest new heroes coming out.
I cannot wait to see that kitty in action.
I mean,
love and I've been thinking lately about the night that you left and told me that you hate me. But then man, I seen you kissing at that place we always drinking. Is the reason that I'm singing. One more shot is what I'm missing. I know I will risk it all, 'cause you're my fireball. You won't have to crawl when you gon' fly away with me. The way you lift me up, just can't get enough. Pull me out the dust, then you take me higher. This that love that don't expire, no. I got that undivided love, my fire.
And here we are heading into the first map. We're on Lijiang Tower, starting on Garden. Fuel running out on 2 of the new picks, Mizuki and Emra coming out, whereas for Husson, they're just going to be playing the Mizuki. The tank difference, though, here, Winston, not going to be as strong as the Zarya. Zarya definitely stronger right now, but Zarya's real, strategy comes alongside playing with that Vendetta. However, Venture, Bugaboo, the real star player of this ACAD roster, already finds 2. Bugaboo, when on Venture or on Vendetta, is a true force to be reckoned with, and we're seeing that as already he finds 3 final blows. Angel picks up a kill onto Jam, coming out with that Kiriko. Kiriko Mizuki, very, very strong backline. Going to be stronger than that Baptiste Mizuki just because of how strong Kiriko is as a character. This Bastion and this Reaper both going to kind of struggle. Reaper good, both are good in isolation into the Winston. The Winston can kind of just kite it out, doesn't have to fight in wide open angles here. So you can just kind of rely on what his Venture starts off a play with. As you see the Ram switch, you see a switch over to the Juno as well as Nature. Just going to beam down MTT there, beam down Santi. He will fall, but Aptaman dangerously low here.
And as Aptaman, he's just holding the line, trying to keep this contest as much as possible. The rest of Husson comes in to go on the attack. They are trying to flush out Fuel right now. Will they be able to? They're getting melted. You got Turtle trying to get on the attack. No official casualties yet, but no, MTT takes out Rexboy, but Apman takes out Arizona. Turtle takes out Apman. And it's just trade after trade. Fuel is still holding the point, but they almost have it claimed for Husson. They just need to get them off this point. Turtle takes out Artemis with a melee blast. Not our Artemis,
no,
a different one.
Artemis builds a quick Sanctuary there, but it's not going to stop it, as if players are inside of the Sanctuary, doesn't really do much, and that much healing. It's actually a lot weaker of an ult than people, initially thought it'd be. Bugaboo, very, very low up on this high ground, down to 25 HP. Should be able to live. And that play, Turtle gets forced out a lot by Aptaman, but a beautiful Suzu from Angel keeps him alive, as well as, however, in this, Aptaman and Rexboy just going to pick off Bugaboo and Arizona. Both of the EPS for Fuel are going to fall in the neutral here. The ults are all in the advantage of Fuel, but they're not going to use any of them. 4 ults to 5 here, but they will just give up the point. Try here, as the ultimates are going to be favoring Fuel. We'll see how much value this override protocol can get from Arizona here, as Emre, not the strongest of characters, purely because of his range. He's kind of a character where you want to be playing, run and gun style, but he doesn't do enough damage in close range, and he has such high fall off that he just doesn't really find a place in the meta comparatively to a character like that Sojourn. A great binding chain there, though, from MTT. From Zanti is going to pick that up as the Kitsune comes on top from Angel, and Fuel should be able to wipe the floor with this, but they have to be careful. That's a Nano Ramatra using Annihilation is going to do a lot here, but that override protocol above is going to be enough as Fuel win it, but they do have to invest 3 ultimates.
But they have an 83% increase in point to Husson's 33%. All they need to do is hold this and not allow Husson to succeed on this final assault. But Atman manages to take out Arizona. This is the start of their attack. Will it be enough? All they need to do is get a toe on this point just to contest it, which they do. It is now contested.
Turtle has that Primal Rage, though, so he can keep, the side of Husson off, but it doesn't matter when the Tectonic Shock from Bugaboo finds 3 as he makes a name for himself. Turtle now Primals this Bastion off the point, but it does not matter as Fuel take the first map 100-33 in a very, very dominant showing. Just overall, playing their skills just a little bit better. They're very good ultimate usage. Great, Suzu's coming out from Angel. Santi hitting some crucial binding chains there in the neutral to force out crucial cooldowns or just, outright kill a player of Husson Varsity. As, again, Artemis now going to switch over to the Kiriko. I think you have to match Kiri in this meta. Unless, there's some sort of a rule where Kiri's banned or, you can't play Kiri on first map. Like that Spotlight tourney. This character is just so, so strong in this current meta. As we're seeing some switches for Husson here, going to the Torb, going to the Cassidy, trying to take those close range duels just a little bit better.
Well, and we know if you know how to play Kiriko and you know how they operate and what they can do support-wise, they can become a thorn in the enemy's side very quickly.
Moira Torb here coming out from Husson Varsity. A bold pick, you know, neither of these
the
characters, you know,
Torbjorn.
the most crucially meta, as that turret already going to get taken down by Bugaboo at range. MTT in dangerous territory there, but a great bubble from Turtle to stop that damage as well as get the follow-up pick off the back of Bugaboo, and Santi doing some good damage, as now the cleave from Turtle here is going to be good. That Juno stuck inside this tunnel, inside of this tight corridor, will be able to escape just in time as we will yet again get that first half off of the neutral play. Ultimates favor them as well. You do see Artemis having quite a good advantage on this Coalescence, but it's not as strong as support ult as, you know, say this Kitsune or the Sanctuary. Bugaboo with this Tectonic could really just start to open things up because it will build very, very quickly. Zazu, you know, trying to build this override protocol as much as possible, but Bugaboo just goes a little too aggressive and falls to nature.
Unfortunately, just the Torbjorn just gets absolutely blasted. You can see Arizona Angel managed to pick up 2. They're still holding on to this A point. You have Turtle going in, keeping them inside this brutal kill box, using that weapon to his advantage. Goon decided to do some property vandalism, graffitiing his own face on the wall there. 37 and increasing to 0, almost mirroring the last round, but this time it seems Husson is just struggling to get through this front line that Fuel has set up.
Yeah, they'll have these ults coming up soon, both support ults. This Juno ult's really going to be the one to open up the play. Bugaboo needs to get this Tectonic Shock ASAP. He's going to use that Burrow to try to go under. A nice force here from the side of Fuel to keep this up, as now Tectonic Shock comes down. There is no hope for the side of Husson Varsity, as that's a Tectonic Shock inside of a tight corridor, which is going to be more than enough. Abdomen with a crucial trade, though, means Fuel cannot continue to push these aggression. Really, the side of Husson, you know, when they're in the open, you see Abdomen just kind of disrespect the damage from Fuel. Just kind of hold that W key, falls to the neutral because, you know, Bugaboo fell, so thinking there's not as much pressure. But Emra still does a lot of damage, as well as Mizuki and Kiriko can make up for a lot of the damage. So how much damage, you know, these do as support, some of the highest damage support outside, you know, that Zenyatta really, that Alari. But now Turtle with a Primal Rage, and for the side of Husson Varsity, they're going to have to try to find a desperation touch here. Turtle may have to use this Primal Rage just to keep themselves alive. Instead, he back jumps. So he's going to take himself out of the fight as Nature and Rexboy pick off both respective DPSs of Fuel, as now the backline of Fuel in danger here, as Mizuki and Kiriko just going to get punched down by Abdomen, but Turtle jumps back, saves there. I would have liked to see Turtle just go a little bit more aggressive there, you know, instead of back jumping there with that Kiriko ult, just pull out that Primal Rage, pull out the hands.
Oh, it's coming out!
Solo play this. Instead, just going to look to boop the Ramattra off the map. Short jump here just to keep point contested, as we'll get 1 pick. Angel picks off 2. Bugaboo as well, as Fuel gonna get that cap yet again, and no player from the side of Husson. It's desperation touches, but they will not have much advantage using that Juno ult, using that orbital array just to try to keep themselves alive. But no switches come out. Abdomen just tries to run back to point as the Ramattra and Fuel take Lijiang, take control 2-0.
And that is map 1 in favor of Fuel Esports. A really good play and really good just communications and everything from the side of Fuel.
Yeah, we'll see how, you know, the side of Husson can bounce back from this one, as truthfully, you know, that's the map where Bugaboo's Vendetta is going to be taken out, but still has that Venture. However, I would like to see how Fuel adapts to, you know, maybe a Domina being in the picture. They're not, you know, Domina struggles a lot more against that Winston, or Winston struggles a lot more against that Domina than he does against that Zarya, rather, or even the Ramattra, right? So we'll see how much value this Domina can get out, because I'm imagining they're going to be playing it. It's no longer banned, right? But I think you're going to need to see a support line switch. You have to match Kiriko.
I think, no, you really do need to match that Kiriko or find a way to absolutely suppress them. Because if you leave Kiriko uncontested, like I said, I'm going to sound like a broken record on this, they can become a problem for your enemy, but they can be your most valuable asset for your team.
100%. I mean, it does so much healing, so much utility, so much damage. Has a Suzu that stops every ultimate, every cooldown in the game. Has a unstoppable mobility with that TP, just able to get out of jail anytime she really wants. This character is so overtuned, has been overtuned for so long. Husson Varsity, they're going to have to change something up. I think as well.
Bring out the Jetpack Kitty.
I think the Jetpack Cat could be a good answer. You know, it does stop Fuel. They're playing not many, because they're playing that Emra, right? They're not going to have as much range. He does start to fall off, so that Jetpack Cat has a little bit more advantage, as well as because you're playing these immobile, tank lines, you can have a little bit more, map pressure, have more high ground pressure. We'll have to see how they do, but I think we're going to have to take a short break before game 2.
Stay tuned. Hello, hello, and we are back. It is map 2, it is Esperanza, and good evening as we are into the night variant of this map. We have Angel bring out Jetpack Cat.
As well as Jam. We
Jam
got a
is bringing
double.
out Jetpack Cat.
We got
Cat
the
fight.
Jetpack Cat ditto here. We'll see how that ends up going. Going to be carrying this Winston. You thought Winston could fly before. Wait till you see what Jetpack Cat can do. Fun fact, that ability has a 2-second cooldown. This game is ruined. Speaking of ruined, we got Vendetta in the lobby now. I'm going to be, a little bit upset onto this one. Not my favorite character, that's for sure. But, I've heard great things of Bugaboo's Vendetta so far. Neither team going to be pulling out, that Domina, so not man away. The Suzu from the side. From the Suzu, that just was a cleanse for some reason.
Yeah, no,
Some good damage coming out from the side of Fuel as Arizona going to pick off Rex Boy. First pick going the way of Fuel as well as the bot control. Luna a little bit lost in the wayside here as Turtle and Bugaboo just clean up the backline of Husson here as Fuel look to just take a clean ace on this first fight.
And as they manage to keep clearing this line, they are just going to keep pushing this robot, make sure that Amazon package gets to their end zone as quickly as possible. All Fuel has to do is just keep on the aggression and maintain a slow crawling front line. You can also see that Jam has swapped off of the Jetpack Cat as they are now trying to establish some long range damage here. They do manage to get some blast off onto Jetpack Cat, but it was not enough. The Winston is going to go in with some heavy shock damage, trying to at least maintain some form of stability, waiting for the rest of the team to come in. You got the Vendetta, Bugaboo going to the back line, swing in, but gets taken down and blasted.
A nice anti-nade there from the side of Artemis to keep that one up. As you'll be seeing probably next fight, as this fight looks to be going the way of Husson, you'll be seeing the first Jetpack Cat combo we'll be seeing, which is probably going to be the Fly Noon, as people have named it.
The Fly Noon!
Yeah, no, they're pretty creative with these names so far, the community, I can't lie. But yeah, the Fly Noon, it's going to be, that Cassidy, he's going to pull out, that Deadeye. And then the Cat's just going to drag him around. And you can't get out of LOS of this thing. You're going to get shot by this Cassidy ult. And you will die, is basically the combo. So we'll see how that one ends up coming out. As you do see the High Noon come out, and you see it, the Fly Noon here.
It's Fly Noon.
It will spot out all members of Husson Varsity as he dives in with that Fan the Hammer, kept alive by Angel here. Nice pocket, and that's going to be a clean ace for the side of Husson Varsity, and that is what the Jetpack Cat enables. Now, Sanctuary and Catnap are both on the cards for the side of Fuel ACAT here, as well as you'll see that Sundering Slice coming up soon from Bugaboo, as well as that Primal Rage, whereas Husson, you're going to have that Bastion ult, you're going to have that Annihilation, you're going to have that Nano, you'll have 5 ults coming up. We'll see if Angel can get a nice catnap here. Might not be the easiest spot to, pull them off the map, except actually we're playing over on Coast here. It will be. Now all of Fuel going to play out of LOS as the High Noon was pulled from the side of Husson. As waiting that one out, the High Noon gets no value as Arizona gets the better of the Cast Mirror. As now Aptaman taken low in main, but Bugaboo just going to dive on back, but does get anti-nade again. The catnap comes out from the side of Angel as she starts to drag the tank into the backline, but she does not go far enough as Turtle picks off Rex Boy. Arizona finds the trades as Fuel will just take this fight yet again.
And with the contestant now back into Fuel's hand, that was an insane assault from Fuel, and they're already at that 100 mark. Husson is on the back foot, only a couple more team fights, and then they also need to push that objective so far, but the momentum has snowballed heavily into Fuel's favor.
And likely,
we have 4 ults on the side of Fuel.
We'll likely be seeing another Fly Noon here as you see him brought up to the skies from Angel, but does get brought down because it actually wants to be careful. So on the next grapple will be its real opportunity. Bugaboo fell, but nice trades from Angel here, and she finds Luna. So both DPS, both sides, 1 DPS down. FTT pushing extremely aggressive here. Just use that recall to get back. Binding Chain goes wide as Turtle dives in the back line. But the Sanctuary is good from MTT, but he will still fall to that Annihilation, the Nano Annihilation from Ramatra. Gonna do so much as Turtle forced to use that Primal just to disengage, get out of the fight as Husson Varsity find their footing. But they've given up 125 meters, and often when it comes to, comes to push, once you get past the 100-meter mark, it's very hard to get back.
High Noon.
Yeah, you see him grappled up, but it's just going to be a drop-off over towards high ground. Not going to look for the High Noon yet. as waiting for his whole team to get back because he can get sniped out of the air.
That is true.
From, both this Cassidy. Cassidy's probably the best character to shoot this cat out of the sky with, just because of how, you don't have to try to track. You just 2 shots will often do the trick, but you also have to shoot a dead-eyeing Cassidy here. We'll see if they can find any success on that one, as the catnap back up Port Angel as well, so she could just, elect to go for a kidnap on the tank, on Abdomen, and just make this fight a quick 4v5 from the side of Husson, or of Fuel, as they look for something. The Sunring Blade, Bugaboo just gonna get sniped out of the air, though. Not having the peel needed there. Fuel down, man, here.
They were so ready. They had the full, anime pose ready, and they just got denied. You are not that guy, is exactly what happened there. Oh, you're going to punch the cat, Cassidy? Oh, okay.
Angel getting the better of this 1v1 right now, beating Luna, as does get the trade with MTT following up. Nice slip there from Angel to, show the power of this Jetpack Cat. So much mobility in this kit. MTT will fall to Jam here, as his Bastion artillery form used, has this ult in the pocket. Turtle goes back in yet again, just forced to heal is this Bastion. But Bugaboo switches over to the Soj, finds the railgun to pick off Jam, as Bastion ult comes out just on the point. Bugaboo will fall, as it has no slide. Fuel, this fight going very long, but in the end it looks like Husson's gonna get the better of them.
And as Husson manages, as you said, managed to find their footing, they now have that package in their possession. They're going to slowly start regaining some of the lost territory and lost ground. But we only have 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. They still have a long ways to go if they want to get to that 125-meter mark.
Yeah, they're still fighting the uphill battle. Arizona's been cooking this high noon for a very, very long time here. MTT picked off in the neutral, so might have to just be another quick reset from the side of Fuel unless they want to invest something in this. They have 2 ults still alive as a high noon from behind, but that's going to force both the lamp and the shield out, but it will still pick off Luna, so a 1-for-1 there as Turtle forced to back jump. Bugaboo slides up into the sky, gets a nice railgun, but it will not find too much more as the Sanctuary comes out from NTT, and the catnap here from Angel's going to bring Aptamim off the map as the rest of Fuel just won because there's no tank for Husson even in the fight. Even if you don't get the kill there from Angel, which you pretty much always do, you're still going to find so much value because their tank is just taken out. Your tank can just start to run free. There's no ability to block your damage. Fuel take the fight yet again.
And as they manage to regain this round, another engagement goes out. This can determine win or lose at this point. Husson needs to hold their ground, but Bugaboo manages to get the kill onto the Cassidy. The suppressing fire from the rest of Fuel is intense. Turtle only brought down to half. Bugaboo brought down to a quarter, but holding on strong with that railgun. Rexboy and Atman both have their ults, but Atman uses their ult to go out. Rexboy still has theirs in reserve. Bugaboo goes down yet again, courtesy of Atman, but Arizona takes out Jam Shield. It is just a battle of attrition right now. No clear winner for this fight yet.
In these long fights, often Husson's going to be, favored because of the fact that Ramatra just kind of does a little bit more damage than this Winston. Has a little bit more survivability. You see Jam and Rexboy picking off members of Fuel. 2 minutes remain, and they have about 60 meters to push left to go from the side of Husson Varsity. So still plenty of meterage to go. That's 3 fights at the minimum for Fuel here. So they should be fine, but Turtle does get picked off, and Fuel forced to reset yet again.
Husson just proved that in these long-term engagements, Husson is who's going to come out on top because Fuel needs to. Fuel's entire strategy is relying on quick, fast, and effective. Husson is able to bleed out those resources. They know that if they can hold on long enough, Fuel will be exhausted and they can just smother them.
Fuel switching to this poke comp here, as you do see the switch to the Sigma from Turtle, but Luna ends up getting the better of Bugaboo with that high noon, as Turtle's just going to get walked at by the Ramatra. Ramatra, pretty good. The Fly Noon just doesn't charge up long enough, but he still finds 2 from the sky drop there. Will end up falling afterwards, as Angel forced to run back to base. As now, the side of Husson, this is within reaching distance. You're only 10 meters away from taking this map. 5 now. Fuel going to have to get a touch. They cannot afford to give over the point, over that meterage, over that advantage, but they may just have to as Jam keeps getting these picks. Bugaboo, though, pulls the clock from high ground, finds 2 as Aptamim kidnapped away, but Angel's going to be the one taken down, but it may have been enough as Bugaboo able to stabilize and the rest of Fuel able to fight back as they keep the meterage. Actually, Husson ended up getting the meterage in the
A
end. They took
126.83.
the advantage of Fuel. Now a must-win territory on these next fights. They have to win these ones cleanly. And for the side of Husson, you'll have 2 more fights to go. And you need to find these picks. Bugaboo needs to find these headshots with the railgun if they want any hope to keep this one. You have a Sanctuary, but you're fighting in to... The other team will have a Sanctuary soon. You will have a Flux coming up soon, but not building it quick enough. Neutral fight should favor you, though, as your damage to be a little bit higher. Turtle, Sanctuary forced out in the neutral here. Fuel need to find something with this. They need to get the picks. And Turtle finally picks off Rexboy here. But a 1 kill only for this Sanctuary is not the trade you want, as Artemis built one. In the meantime, Arizona finds Luna. The Pulse Bomb goes wide as Turtle and Fuel keep control of the cart. And now they're halfway to this push coming back in their favor.
All they need to do is get literally a meter. That's all they need.
2 more fights left for the side of Husson. You'll have 1 fight and then probably a desperation touch at this point. So this fight crucial here, but you have a Gravitic Flux, you have that High Noon, and you have that Catnap up here as well, so you can send that Cassie into the air. But Rexboy, a great pick in the neutral there. Now, the Lamp is forced out, which means Turtle will have a fantastic Gravitic Flux. A 4-man Flux is going to find all members of Husson Varsity, but just no damage to follow. As Fuel, it's just a force back. Rexboy finds MTT in the neutral, as Fuel going to have to play heroes to touch here. But Angel falls to Luna, and the side of Husson Varsity have clutched this one up. Fuel, with a 120 meterage lead, end up squandering it as Husson Varsity tie this one up to 1-1.
Only with 1 meter of a difference between these 2 teams. Husson went from what looked like absolute defeat to a complete 180 swap, and to win from what looked like what was going to be a loss. They played a heck of a game, and now to tie it 1-1, we have a game, folks.
We have a game indeed, but we'll have to see how Husson can respond to the Venture being back in the pool after this one, as well as the Kiri. Fuel might go back just to the Kiri. You know, if Husson still doesn't match it, it'll be a problem. We'll see what ends up happening, but we're going to have to take a short break before that, so don't go anywhere. This series has started.
I close my eyes, it's not a dream. There's so much more that I can get. Let me wonder what we could have been. A smile that I couldn't keep. Close my eyes, it's not a dream. 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 There's so much more that I can get. Let me wonder what we could have been. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. A smile that I couldn't keep. Close my eyes, it's not a dream. 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 Close my eyes, it's not a dream.
Money got me like
I'm mad, Noob. You want to see why?
Does it have to do with what Husson Varsity may or may not have banned?
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? Well, we will not be seeing any Jetpack Kitty in this one. This is a map where Jetpack Cat's very nice because it's very high ground oriented. So, some of these not high ground tanks like that Zarya are able to play. Bugaboo on this venture, showing up why this one was banned from him last game. Already getting that first pick onto the Echo of all characters. Venture, not the character you expect to pick out someone out of the sky, but, can always make some magic happen, especially with the skill. Artemis over here on the Mercy. Yeah, that's a skin.
It's adorable.
It's the magical girl skin, I believe. It's the whole point of it is they have their little partners, right?
Yeah.
Little animal companions.
Arizona with the high ground, just shredding on the Diva, doing a lot of damage, and keeping Atman at bay just at least a half, getting that Echo down to a lot of down to low health. They get dropped by Angel.
Yeah, you see MDT and Angel getting the better of the DPS of Husson Varsity, just struggling against the supports of Fuel. MDT, though, give me in danger here. That recall is not one you want to take, sir.
Nope.
As that is in the wide open. He's crossing out it open, and nobody is going to be contesting him. This damage was from the Mercy, trying its best to try to make some value happen. But Mercy Juno, outside of pure healing, not the most utility, not the most, valuable of a support line. See if it can end up having some value. You do see Maple and Arizona both, Arizona playing tank now, whereas Maple going to be subbing in for DPS here. We'll see how his Emray does comparatively to that of Arizona's, as he already is getting close to that override protocol. Pulls out the sidearm, every shot goes wide, but still finds the value, the movement speed from it, and keeps himself alive. As now the aim coming out, looking to try to find these dinks, but Emray struggles in these far range duels, likes those close range duels a lot more. As you see, Mercy with the Valkyrie flying up, but Rex Boy just going to get taken down by those torpedoes from Angel, as now Bugaboo goes back in, finds two members, as his Mercy
pinned out the Mercy.
is stuck, but does eventually get out. Nice Guardian Angel, as well as a fantastic bubble from the side of Atman, but it's not enough to save them as these late staggers come in from the side of Fuel ACAD, as already 2 minutes are burned off the clock.
And only 50 meters of ground has been gained from the side of Husson. This is not looking good, but we saw what Husson just proved last game. They can turn ultimate defeat into a close victory in a matter of moments.
Indeed, but a map like Escort, map type like Escort's a lot harder to do that on. As well, this point map, usually you have two fights. You have the fight right around spawn, around this high ground, and then the enemy team will usually get through underground, and then you'll be able to fight on the other side. But here, Fuel has actually stopped it. A 3K with the override protocol here from Maple. Some beautiful heavy shots there, as you will find some great value. Arizona finding the next two. But yeah, usually you'd find two fights here, and neither would be under this tunnel. But now the fact that Fuel have stopped the payload under this tunnel means that Husson have to fight yet again on this first high ground, which is the hardest point to really take on this map, outside of maybe second point first fight.
Well, because you can turn it into a kill box. Completely.
You really can, and the high ground control is just so dangerous. Sim, switch over here from the side of Rexboy to get these TPs, try to get your Abdomen up onto the high ground, who now has a Graviton. A nice binding chain from the side of Artemis is going to get Bugaboo out of that burrow, but it's not enough to take him down. It does eventually fall, as well as Jam picking off Maple, so both DPS of Fuel fall. However, the side of Arizona and Fuel, they're not done with this one yet. They did invest that orbital ray, but it was all for naught, as the side of Husson Varsity will be able to take this one, but they had to invest an orbital and an overclock, as they just need to not get any trade. No trades here for the side of Fuel is crucial, but they will still be able to get one more fight on this defense here, as here we're down to final fight territory, and they have not gotten to this first point cap yet. 10 seconds remaining. Alt's advantage Fuel here. You'll have to see a big grab if you want any hope here. Tectonic shot comes out from Bugaboo. First two shots go wide, as well as the last, but the third one did some big damage, but he ends up falling there. Sanctuary's traded out from the side of GT, but Artemis actually fell before they could use theirs. Luna, Arizona, Maple trading in the kill feed, but it goes the way of Fuel. However, a D-Max Diva will not be able to find anything, and in the meantime, Fuel, they C9.
It don't matter.
They C9, they didn't touch the point.
And did they secure it? They
Yeah.
did. Oh wow!
Fuel
Okay.
got off the point. They didn't touch the point, and therefore that means Husson Varsity gets another lease at life, and they are not full health here on Gibraltar. They're able to take this second fight. Arizona needs to get this mech back desperately.
They really, really do. And now another 2 minutes of play for the side of Husson. This is now going into the second stage territory. This, however, can be turned into just as brutal as a kill box as the first point. You just got to be really careful of these flanks and those corners. But as the D.Va starts bringing the engagement, starts those scatter shots up, they are just going to blast and bring in the suppressing fire. Fuel's dropping in from the box side, but Luna manages to drop Bugaboo with some assistance. Rexboy takes out Maple. The D.Va gets demeched again. The explosion goes wide. They get dropped and shredded instantly, and it's all down to MTT and Angel, but they're too far back, and this absolutely just swamps, and the entirety of the marching ground goes right over to Husson.
And the snowball of Husson has started to build as the second point may just fall. Luna gets the better of Maple yet again, as side of Husson Varsity, the switch over to the Soldier has found so much success here for Luna. Arizona switching over to the Orisa, as you know, it's really hard to play a D.Va against Zarya. Used that D.Va bomb just to try to get the remake, but then went a little bit too aggressive. This, as well as the Sim, going to be beaming down these players. Do not have, you know, and D.Va also can't play against beams at all, so, you know, both the Sim and the Zarya, real problem. Maple finds a nice trade onto Jam here, but with your tank down on the point, it's going to be a hard fight for the side of Fuel as they look to try to keep it contested, but Optiman finding MTT should be the final nail in the coffin here for this second point defense, as it's now on to third point.
And now that this is, you can tell I'm speechless. I'm just completely speechless.
Understandably so. I mean, what looked so dominant on this first point hold, as soon as they stop, you know, having full control, having the ability to set up, you will start to fall apart, as now we're already on to the third point. Now, this point can be hard to cap for sure, but Fuel has to take advantage of these high grounds. They have to take advantage of these corners, or else they're just going to get lasered down. You have both an orbital and a visor up for the side of Husson, as well as you have that grab and that sanctuary up soon. Fuel has a little bit of an ult advantage early. Both Rays going to get traded out here. The orbitals used, but neither team finding too much advantage with these. Bugaboo, a nice drill dash, is going to find Luna on the back of MTT's damage, as now Fuel look to continue this fight, but the healing may not be there. They had to invest both support ults, every ult being used from every member of both teams, but in the end, Rexboy finds a triple kill off of that Graviton
Quadra
surge.
kill.
Quadra will be a 5k.
Denied.
No, Bugaboo denies it, but it does not matter, as in the end, Husson Varsity still take the fight, and now Fuel have to play for desperation touches. Maple switches to the Echo to try to get a little bit more slippery with it, try to get a little bit more, you know, burst damage to take down these members, but a nice wall on point from the side of Rexboy is going to do a lot. Tectonic Shot comes out, but it has to find more than just the poke damage, as Bugaboo finds one, but Luna found two in the meantime, and will fall to Jam as Luna yet again, and the side of Husson Varsity will look like it may have been a full hold on first, with Fuel C9ing forces a full cap with 40 seconds remaining.
A absolutely dominant play by the side of Husson, and absolutely brutal. And now as the tides turn and the roles flip, can Fuel blitzkrieg Husson the same way they did, or are they going to be stuck in a desperate slog?
Fuel definitely not happy about that one, right? That was pretty much almost a guaranteed, you know, that was a full hold, really. The C9 comes out. It's a little unfortunate that they don't get onto the point. We'll see if they can, you know, figure out if they can break Husson's defense, because I mean, Fuel had such a hard, or Husson had such a hard time attacking through. Husson had such a hard time attacking into Fuel's defense. We'll see if Fuel can do the same, as they're gonna pull out. Why not throw a third new character in the pool? We haven't seen the Onron yet. For good reason. She's quite weak right now, I can't lie.
Who's running on Ron?
That'll be Bugaboo.
Okay.
On Fuel Cat here. So you have this two new heroes on the defense line, or on that DPS line, as well as, you know, Mizuki. We've been seeing Mizuki and Emra already, but this is the first on-run we'll see. You know, she has a little bit of some strengths in her kit for sure, but her damage is a little bit low for sure. She doesn't have the real burst potential that a lot of these other, you know, flanking DPSs, the flex DPSs have. We'll see if they can find any value on it, or if Bugaboo's just going to look for an early pick. As it's all going to be if they can break this defense. You're going to be fighting into double laser yet again. I think you're going to have to go back to switch off of this D.Va, but instead Arizona taking the high ground, trying to get some control, but has to instantly go back. Bugaboo instantly beamed down by Luna there. Headshot after headshot will force the on-run back to spawn.
And as Arizona manages to do suppressing fire with the scatter shot, it's allowing the Mizuki to come in to really get into their backline though, but Luna manages to drop Maple. anyone else is getting engaged. There's just tag after tag after tag. Not enough to see any type of superior dominance over right now. But MTT goes in, gets him hit and run, has to recall again. Angel is trying to gain some form of support. They need to gain control of this high ground, but they are making progress. But remember, Husson got stopped underneath this bridge for so long that it almost ended in overtime. This could be the potential for Fuel unless they manage to absolutely dominate against them. But Rexboy gets a double. Oh no, not a double kill. That was a utility. That was a tool. That was the mech plus the Diva getting taken out.
Arizona gonna fall there. Just goes a little bit too aggressive. Fights into that Symmetra, who just beams through this defense matrix of Diva, which means she's a free hitbox to hit. As I feel they're gonna have to, something has to change. You do see Arizona switch over to the Sigma now. You can find any value off of this one. It's still gonna have a similar issue where that kinetic grasp is still going to be beamed through by both the Zarya and the Symmetra, but it will have a little bit more damage and a little bit more potential, but it will not have the ability to get onto this high ground as MTT.
Hold
on,
hold on.
Solo play here. Nice binding chain, but no finishing as Bugaboo switches over to the Pharah, finds a late trade just as he's about to fall. And now the beaming, the shots coming in from Maple here, trying to find some value. Finds Aptamins in the tank of Husson, falls, and now Fuel get this past the underground. As now it's going to be a touch here for the side of Husson. Varsity should still be one more fight. But they get past this tunnel a lot earlier than Husson did.
They did, but also I was worried why they weren't touching, but they actually just pushed Husson all the way back, and now this gained them so much ground to try and get this second point. As long as they can hold them here, the Sigma is absolutely just throwing every single rock and pebble their way. The rest of Fuel is engaging. Everyone is just emptying everything. MTT destroys a device, but Luna manages to drop down Angel.
Into the Sanctuary.
Denied. Atman takes down Maple. Bugaboo. Arizona takes out two.
Arizona finds two, but it's just him left alone on this point as he's gonna fall. Fuel almost with a crazy.
But they got it.
But again, they just don't touch the point. So there's some slippery things happening in this game so far, as neither team wants to stay on Gibraltar first point. they just hate this card really, as Fuel will get that cap there. Oh well, it looked so good for Fuel because MTT. What ends up happening there? Angel invests that Ray. And then Artemis trades out the Sanctuary to stop it. Then Jam uses the Ray, and MTT trades out that Sanctuary to stop it. But then Atman throws a Graviton into a thing that eats all projectiles and gets their ultimate eaten by the Sanctuary of MTT. So that's three ultimates down for Husson. But in the end, Fuel just ended up falling. Bugaboo not able to find the damage. Has this barrage now, though. Maybe we'll be able to find something, but Rexboy finds the
Justice reigns from a... Oh!
Only one player will fall there as the Concussive Blast does not go the way he wanted to. As Fuel will not be able to march. He will not be able to continuously, keep this advantage going on at this attack. For Husson, right, they completely steamrolled through this first point. Bugaboo, stick to the far Fuel. They're confident that they can win this one with this comp. The ults are going to be in favor of Husson.
Yeah, 77, 84, 63, 56, 71 to 47, 61, 55, 7, and 67.
Shout out counting.
Woo!
But here we see the bubbles coming out from Aptaman. No bubbles on the Zarya. Seeing why Zarya is such a prio pick, right? Zarya or Domina, those are the two main picks. A nice binding chain here, though, from Artemis. Forces out that Kinetic Grasp, as well as the Sanctuary, going to be invested early. Forces Fuel to kite back as much as possible. Arizona taking
the health bar for everybody.
But is going to be pocketed through this one, but it will not matter as Fuel eventually fall. The Sanctuary invested in a losing fight from Fuel is not going to be what you want. We'll see if MTT looks to try to switch off of this Mizuki. It does look like that. He switches, and he uses that Sanctuary because he knows he wants to switch. Maple as well going to match this Symmetra. The Symmetra from Rexboy been such a thorn in the side of Fuel's... thorn in the side of Fuel here. We'll see if they can, find the answer. It's almost going to be a full team comp switch. The only one staying are going to be Angel and Arizona.
And now as the time just keeps ticking down, they're getting desperate, but Angel manages to find one onto Luna. A really good pick. The assault from Fuel is beginning. MTT doing everything they can to support with the healing lines. An ultimate from Arizona goes out, finds them on the lift.
Flux there, though, just to keep his team alive. The Flux pushes the Zarya out of beam range of the grab, as well as pushes Sim out of the beam range, but it doesn't matter, as in the late trades, Luna gets back in time, ends up winning these out. Artemis Picks off Bugaboo as well. And Fuel, again, just sent back to spawn. And now with 55 seconds remaining, it's so hard to take this point sometimes because of how much high ground control. When you play on top of the ship here on second point, it's so hard to walk through these tight little corridors. You don't win that first fight, it's very often you cannot cap second point at all. Arizona, desperation, Reinhardt.
The Reinhardt. Okay.
If it can find any value, you know, it's going to be a ground tank duel versus Optiman here. Zarya going to have a little bit more advantage in the neutral, have a little bit more advantage. A Ray comes out from Angel. Ray's traded his jams. Ray is just a little bit later. Shots coming out from Bugaboo, looks to get the better of the Mizuki, but actually rolls in to the face. FTT finds a trade onto Luna. Maple, Farah in the sky, sending out these artillery fire, but it's not going to be enough as 12 seconds tick down and Fuel forced to touch as Optiman just beams down the rest of Fuel, and it's Bugaboo. Desperation touch switches over to this Tracer, and Fuel just never really found their footing on this attack as they will fall, and Husson takes a 2-1 lead in the series.
And now Fuel ACAD is in the hot seat going into map 3. They need to win game 3 if they want to continue in this series.
Do you know if Zarya ban is up? Or was it used already?
I do not. No, I don't think Zarya was banned yet.
If Zarya has not been banned, I think Fuel definitely needs to take the Zarya out of the picture.
Yes.
They just kind of played musical chairs around the tank heroes, but none of them really ended up answering the Zarya. This is the problem with Zarya. She's so strong right now when she can pocket someone, or, you know, just in general, when you're playing that neutral fight, she's going to do more damage than most tanks. Domina kind of the only pick that really does match her in any way, but neither team really wanting to pull that one out. We'll see if it ends up happening. We'll see if, you know, the switches come back in and, you know, they go back to Arizona on DPS and Turtle back on tank. Interested to see what Fuel's going to do, because they're going to have to head back to the drawing board here for map 4.
Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. It's getting juicy.
Closer.
We are back with Game 4 here. Fuel, ACAD versus Husson Varsity. Bans, Lucio and Reinhardt apiece. We're on Saravasa, which is just another map that Zarya dominates. I'm very confused to not see a Zarya ban.
By either team.
Yeah, well, Fuel, if Husson bans it, they might be throwing. But we'll see. Jarmus is now in on DPS. Bugaboo back over to the Vendetta, seeing if he can find some success. If you're going to play for this Vendetta, you kind of need to play with this Zarya. Zarya really sets her up for greatness with that bubble. It's so hard to deal with a bubbled Vendetta, as we're seeing a switch off of the Mizuki here for MTT. He's going to be picking up that Baptiste. Going to be a Baptiste Juno versus a Mizuki Juno here for Husson. As Luna and Rexboy sticking to that patent-pended Sim Soldier.
And as the first engagement for this point goes for the way of Husson, it is a heavy onslaught against Fuel. Bugaboo, heavy in the back line, is almost picked off, but they do manage to fall back and heal. Actually, they get the cut down onto Luna.
Yeah, picked off one while dangerously low, as well as the fact that Arizona got the first pick there. So Fuel taking the first fight. Rexboy over to the Bastion. Double hit scan here for Husson Varsity. They just want a little bit more, consistent damage, a little bit more tank shred there to make sure that Arizona can't play. See what value this is happening is on this right side fight. Bugaboo, these slashes are going to be doing a lot of damage on the side of Husson, as already almost at that sundering slice here for Bugaboo, as well as almost having that annihilation for Arizona. Portal's not far behind. Jarmus, though, slow cooking this Bob here. However, does get up to 50%. As I say that, the ults all in favor of Fuel here, as the point has also been tapped by them. Thundering Slice comes out here. That does not get blocked by shields, but a nice turn, but it is behind a wall as side of Fuel going to fall back. The window invested here from MTT will force Abdomen back, force them to fall. Jarmus looks to get some value with his dynamite out of the air. Bugaboo, though, playing very, very aggressive, just playing to the limits of this character, ends up living. Pause all here as both teams wait to see who that's going to happen, as the first point will go over the side of Fuel ACAD.
But with a pause, I wonder, what is the plan? What does it mean? Keyboard swapping.
Keyboard swapping?
Pausing for a keyboard swap?
We got 2 keyboards in the room.
Oh, okay.
It's a very, very interesting thing to see. We'll see how quickly that one ends up getting resolved. But I mean, this first fight really, really went the way of Fuel ACAD. They have this Annihilation and they have this Ray. However, you're looking into 4 ults of Husson. Husson switching over to the Ram to try to match Arizona here, but you're going to be far behind on this ult. We'll see, this ult and this
Jam
ult.
decided to break his A button.
Yeah, this Ramatra ult and this Juno ult can really start to tear through a team. But we've seen the Sanctuary counter at this Juno ult in the past. We've also seen a matching Juno ult do the same, as well as we'll see how much value this visor and this artillery configuration is going to have to see what they can do, as they're going to have to be heading to the second flashpoint.
And it's a good, and how the first flashpoint went, it just absolutely went in Fuel's favor. And Bugaboo heavily, I know you're not a fan of Vendetta by any means, but they absolutely put her to work, and she absolutely shredded
Playing to the utmost
Husson.
limits of that character, just making, playing their
She
life.
Bugaboo redlined Vendetta.
Playing the life as best as humanly possible. Playing with that low health, making sure to play around that LOS, getting some nice slashes in. Thundering Blade went a little wide just because everyone kind of got behind a wall, but
Yeah.
it still forces the players of Husson back, and it still forces so many cooldowns out. You saw a bubble enforced. I think you may have seen, a couple of the Mizuki cooldowns used as well. Looks like we'll be heading into this game shortly, as Fuel definitely in the driver's seat. They'll have first positioning on this point, as they're already running over there. You can see three silhouettes of theirs over on that left side of your screen.
Yep.
As Oz coming down any second now. Bob can really, deny a lot of these aggressive plays from the set of Husson as well. But I'm interested to see how much value this Annihilation and this Ray can get.
And now as the next flashpoint unlocks in 30 seconds, both teams are scrambling to go in for this neutral engagement. Already a firefight begins, and Bugaboo gets absolutely shut down.
Caught out in the open. They're rotating away from their team, looking for a flank. Will fall. Every member of Husson Varsity was there in the wings waiting. As now Fuel gonna have to concede this first point, this first flip over to Husson, as Bastion ult comes in, just tries to get a little bit of peppering fire, a little bit of poke. It does not seem to find too much. Jarmus taken down to about 100 HP. He will be able to survive as Arizona beaming down in main here. The Bastion form used, so now they're gonna have a little bit less damage when this one comes out. It does burn down that ultimate, or not the ultimate, the lamp of MTT, but Artemis fights back. Abdomen, though, as well, finds 2. This this Ray and this Annihilation find nothing, as the Ray and the Sanctuary response from Artemis and Jam, as well as this Visor are good. The late picks coming out, a big stagger onto Jarmus there means Fuel will be forced back even further, but every ultimate was invested from Husson there. They will have this Annihilation coming up, whereas Arizona, the only ult on Fuel is going to be Bugaboo's Sundering Slash soon, and then maybe MTT will be able to build up a window.
And now as the Bastion tries to hold down as much suppressing fire, it is 60% for the side of Husson for this point. Fuel needs to make a break in their defense now and get a toe on this next flashpoint to try and bring it back from a defeat, tying this up. Atman cuts down Bugaboo, Jarmus takes down Rexboy, but Angel manages to take down Luna as well. That is a solid attack. Artemis not looking good in the health department there. This is where Fuel is attacking. It's a 3-on-5 right now, and now Fuel is capturing it. Will they be able to hold it, or will it get contested? And it does turn over. 99% for the side of Husson. Fuel needs to play a flawless defense in order to put a point on the board here.
Yeah, they get the flip, though, crucially. As now the ultimates, you'll see, a window up for MTT. You'll see Bugaboo have that Sundering Slice. A pretty big Ray advantage here for Angel, building that up about 20%
Sundering
quicker.
Slice!
Sundering comes out, and
Oh!
Rexboy just peeks into it. completely safe behind that wall, but just gets a little bit too aggressive. A nice window and the lamp come out, just force Aptaman to hold this block for the entire game. Does get pocketed through it, but now Bugaboo runs in the back. Vortex thrown down to try to slow down Bugaboo, as Jam ends up getting the better of that Vendetta. As now Rays come out for Angel, looks to try to find some value. Torpedoes come out as well. Auto, this rapid fire perk from the Juno doing a lot of damage, but Arizona pulls out the Annihilation in the end, and that should be enough to clean up this fight to the side of Fuel, and that may just be the cap going their way. Aptaman finds 2 though. Arizona down to 100 HP, and I spoke too soon as Aptaman, without investing the ultimate, ends up winning it out as Artemis has that Sanctuary, keeps him alive. Jam now has this Orbital Ray. The only ult for Fuel is going to be Jarmus's Bastion ult, and that will not be enough as Fuel decide to just go to the next point.
And now it is a 1-1 tie. We know what is at stake for Fuel Academy. This is potential series point for them. They need to bring everything to the table. They got to bring their A game if they want to continue into this series, bring us into a map 4.
Yeah, we'll see. First to 3, so not over yet. Can always, come back here, but Fuel are going to have to get back in the driver's seat as Jarmus loses the Bastion duel. And now Fuel are on the back foot yet again. It feels like that's just been a consistent story since that first map. Afterwards, it feels like Fuel's been on the back foot the entire time. High Noon comes out from Luna, looking for some sort of value. Fuel just going to push forward with this, play around the corner. Bugaboo switches over to the Sojourn, try to get a bit more consistent damage, find these pick potential as the Vendetta was getting shut down. Fuel now a lot of cooldowns used, and now it's Husson's turn. It's their, time to play. As Luna finds that headshot in the Bugaboo, and that's a first pick over. As well as the Annihilation comes out. MTT's lamp can only save him for so long, but he does survive as Fuel kite this one out, but Luna finds a pick.
And as Atman just absolutely gets shredded, having to use a majority of their block, MTT holding on to their own, but Jam manages to take out Jarvis. Luna takes out MTT with a nice solid punch. And Husson just has complete full territory control.
Yeah, their control has been quite unstoppable for so long now. Again, they've just been in the driver's seat this entire game as 4 ults are up for Fuel, but you're responding in the 3 ults of Husson. You have to get some better neutral fights. You can't be only winning off these ult fights, or else it's just going to be doom or gloom. Fuel forced to touch here as Ultimate's not invested quite yet. They're looking for something, but who needs an ult if Arizona just finds the dry pick onto Artemis? A crucial kill there as double support ult invested from Fuel. They won't want to give up any space. Rexboy finds Angel with that Bastion ult. It's not enough as the side of Fuel will be able to get the flip.
But now they're back to just what it was at the first flashpoint. They need to defend completely. It's 99% to 11 and increasing.
Yeah, they have 3 ultimates to do it. On the side of Husson, you only have a High Noon, and you have that Sanctuary. You'll come up close to that Annihilation from Aptaman, but it will be a little bit slower here. Arizona can maybe play quick. Angel switching off of the Juno over to the Kiriko, picking that power pick that we were talking about so heavily. We'll see if that changes tides. It may have been just to get back to the point quickly to make sure that nothing goes awry. That Silver Bolt finds a lot of damage from Luna as trades out Jarmus, but Bugaboo finds Luna as well. But trades favor the side of Husson here, as we'll see if Fuel can keep this one up. Both Nemesis forms invested from each Lamatra as the Annihilation comes out from Arizona. Uses that E to try to find some value here. But is forced just to play a blocking game as the Bastion damage is so high, and Aptaman finds 2 with their own Annihilation.
And now it seems like Rexboy and Atman managed to absolutely fall through. It's only one person left. It gets blasted in the contest. It goes through 99% the overtime, and there's not enough for anyone on Fuel to go through, and that is another point going to Husson. This is it, the final point for Husson to take the series, or Fuel needs to bring back and secure 2 to bring us into a final fight.
And this first fight is going to be a crucial, tone setter for that. Fuel has lost control on these points. The first fight, the last 2 points, and they've lost both of them. MTT going to fall out in the neutral, in the open. Fuel, they always are getting picked off on these rotations. They have to be safer when they're going for these, as it just means the side of Husson gets full control of this point. They get to play this aggressive angles, not Fuel from walking in and just poke them down, prod them down from range. As now the ults are it's 2 for Fuel, 3 for the side of Husson. Jarmus switches over to the Emra, trying to find some miracle here. The side of Fuel, ACAD overclock from Bugaboo could find a lot, especially through the window of MTT. Fashion ult comes out as Fuel's going to have to play back.
And as the assault from Husson continues and they've secured this flashpoint, the defense from Husson to stop the attack of Fuel is absolutely unsurmountable. Fuel needs to break through this first kill box. And honestly, right now, where they are, this is a dangerous position. It's just a kill box because you have the entirety of Husson's team aiming down that one corridor. They're pinned.
Yeah, definitely in a tough spot here is Fuel at 63% already. I mean, flashpoint caps so quickly. The window comes out. It's a second too late as Afterman just lasers MTT through it. The high noon comes out from Luna. Now the overclock through this window. This is the tide turner, but you have to find more than one pick. You have to find some damage here with this overclock, or else Fuel are just going to be sent home packing. As this last fight, Fuel might not even have an opportunity to get a desperation touch. They're going to have to switch to quick heroes, but nobody is going to be able to do it.
In
as
3,
the time
2,
ticks down,
1.
and Fuel ACAD sent home. Husson take a 3-1 victory over Fuel ACAD here and bring themselves 2-0 in the standings.
A devastating loss for Fuel ACAD, unfortunately. A well-fought victory for the side of Husson, however.
Yeah, at some point it felt like Fuel, they were just in on the back foot the entire series. They were unable to find those aggressive plays, unable to find, you know, any of their footing, especially on this map, right? You saw 2 points basically being given over based off of an early rotation getting caught. One of the players going a little bit too early and not having the ability to get out because they're not playing characters that can safely escape. So it will be Husson, Varsity Green getting the better of Fuel in that one, getting a 3-1 victory. But overall, not a bad showing from Fuel.
No, not at all, not a bad showing, especially as you correct me right at the start that this was actually their first time playing as a team.
As far as a real match is concerned,
For a
I
real
believe
match.
they've played scrims, but as far as a full, actual, serious match is concerned, this is their first one.
That was a good showing.
Yeah, you know, there's still plenty of room to go. You can see some bright spots on the team for sure. Well, I think we'll see if we can get one of the players to chat with. You know, it's not often it's not always we can get one after a loss, but you know, I think it's still there's optimism in that one for sure. So
Oh yeah,
don't
so
go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. We're gonna see if we can find someone.
There's so much more that I can get. Let me wonder what we could have been. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. I wanna smile that I couldn't keep. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. It's not a dream.
Hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody. We are joined by Santi or MTT of our Overwatch ACAD team, the support. Tough one there for sure, but I think, this is, correct me if I'm wrong, is this your guys' first official match together?
It is actually our first official match together. You're not wrong about that. We had a lot of scrims, but this is our first official match because last week got canceled. So, but yeah.
And how would you say, obviously first match together, getting, that synergy going and stuff. What would you say, went well today?
What went well? We had comms. People were talking, which is good. No matter, even when we were down 2-1, down to the last map, even when we were losing fights, it's good to have comms. We all talking. That's important. It's like it hurts more that there's no comms than just a bunch of gibberish that's going on, which was good for us.
So then overall, as the games progress from game 1 into game 4, what was just the overall like chemistry and the vibes?
The vibes were pretty good. I enjoyed it. I had a good time being in the room. I didn't expect to be in the room. I was like, I'll get to play from home. I got to play Overwatch, then play more Overwatch after the game if we win or lost. But now I'm here in the room, and it was actually a good time. I enjoyed it. So
Awesome to hear. Yeah, I'm curious. What do you think ended up changing? The tone from map 1 being a very dominant win to then slowly starting to.
they did swap someone in. I know that. I remember that happening in game 2. That might have changed things. But we also, what's it called? My brain hurts. We were not able to adapt quick enough to their swaps on the team, especially on I think we went one map on Gibby. They went doubles beam on
Yes.
Diva. We were not able to capitalize swaps. I didn't swap to we were low on heals with our we went Juno Mitsuki, which I'm having so much fun on that character. Not gonna lie, so fun. But I needed to swap sooner to get out something that brings out better heals. But other than that, it's just we needed to adapt more because especially on that last point, as you saw, they were trying to do the usual double beam, and then immediately swapped after they lost the first fight. This is something, I guess it's our first fight team versus team actual thing for a game. So this is just something we just gotta learn and do. So
I think that was worded very well. I don't
Yeah,
really
for
have any
sure.
follow-up questions.
I would just say, going forward, what do you what do you think you can most take from this match to improve as a team going forward?
improve as a team. Well, learning when to swap. I need to learn when to swap. I'm stuck on this character until the very end. Because I don't have no plan B. It's plan A, and plan A didn't work. Well, we failed. GG. But I think that's something I got to work on as a team. We're doing well. I felt like we could have won. It was just we're good as a team overall. We just did small, stupid mistakes, which led us to losing it overall. So
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Santi. Before we head out, let's take a look at our schedule. We're heading into reading week, so there's a lot of streams up in the air because of people not being able to be on campus, being in the room. But Sunday we may have a Rocket League stream. Monday it might be Overwatch main team, as I believe their match from today got rescheduled to Monday. Tuesday Valorant, but maybe not, judging by the words that say versus likely reschedule. Wednesday maybe COD or Rocket League. Thursday could also be more Rocket League, and then Friday maybe more Overwatch. We'll see, right? We'll see as the week plays out how it pans out going forward. But with that, thank you very much for watching today. Make sure you follow our socials everywhere, Fanshaw Fuel everywhere, so you can keep up to date with all of our teams, all of our future streams. Maybe you'll see the ACAD team play yet again, or you'll see all of our teams play. Take us out, Dragon.
Yep. Thank you all so much for watching. And as per usual, I've been Dragon.
I've been Newt.
yeah, me too. Yeah.
Have a great night, everyone.